Greetings again from the percussion section in the orchestra. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, and we are going to continue with our journey in the orchestra and the percussion family. Today, I've got a surprise instrument for you that you're going to say, I didn't know that was in the percussion family. And I'm going to tell you, it is, but it's not. What? I know, right? So let's get started. First, we got to go through this. All right, yesterday we learned about the chimes, the timpani, and the maracas, and here's the video links if you didn't get to see them yet. And today we have the snare drum, the marimba, and the piano. Which one do you think is the one that you're gonna say, what about? Guess we'll find out in just a second. All right, let's get started with the snare drum. The snare drum is pretty cool because it's not just a regular drum. It has some rattles, which are called snares underneath it, that you can turn on and off if you want to make that sounds. It was also sometimes called the side drum because when they used to march with it a long time ago, it would go across them and be on their side, so they had to play it there. Its ancestor was the tabor drum, which was also used to accompany the flutes. The snare drum has two heads, typically made of plastic, and has a rattle of metal wires on the bottom head, called the snares. That's what I was telling you about. So it makes the bottom head rattle, or they can turn it off so it doesn't. So it just sounds like dit, dit, dit. The snare drum was usually hit with drumsticks, but percussionists can also use a brush with a different kind of stick called a root, or their own hands. They can actually use a lot more than just that. They can make all sorts of different kinds of effects with it. Now, the video that we're gonna watch, this guy is actually using 2 drumsticks with each hand. It's pretty impressive. I can't do that. Sometimes in music class, I'll have you guys watch a video where this guy is using one drumstick to play the other, and then he tries to do it with his nose. I've almost got it there, but let's watch this guy. Really impressive that he uses 2 sets of drumsticks. This is really impressive. And if you see, he got first place, and you will soon find out why. Look at this. He's turning one stick around while holding the others. Now there's a lot more of it, but you can watch that on your own. I am so impressed with that. It just floors me. 2 sticks in each hand, flipping one around while playing. Oh my gosh, amazing. I'm like, you know, I never don't have words, but I cannot even continue talking. It's so incredible. All right, next we have the marimba. Now, you guys are going to say, but that looks like a xylophone. And you're exactly right. It does look like a xylophone. But what makes it different than a xylophone is that it has wooden bars. Xylophones have metal bars. Marimbas have wooden bars. Easy. It's played by hitting the bars, which produce different pitches with mallets. You know that because you play xylophones. The bars, oh, here's another different part. The bars are amplified, meaning the sound gets bigger by resonators, and that's those things that are hanging down there. The marimba originates in Guatemala and is the country's national instrument. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Marimbas are used as solo instruments and also in orchestra, jazz band, and marching band. What? How do they march with that? They don't. They put it in what's called the pit, which is in front of the marching band, because there's no way somebody can march while pushing that and playing it too. So they're used all over the place. Now, ready for the marimba? It's a pretty cool instrument. Love the sound of it. Here we go with the marimba. See, wooden bars. And you can see the resonators tubes. Sometimes they're long enough that you can have two people play. And sometimes people play what's called four in hand, where they have the two mallets in each hand. It's set up just like a piano, but the black notes are up here and the white notes are down there. But on a marimba, they're not colored any different. Oh, you got a snare drum right there and a cymbal. And look, on the snare drum, he's using mallets like they're using, covered with like fuzziness to make it a muffled sound. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys watch that later. That's pretty cool. So the snare drum player had, I don't know what the word would be, I can't think today, but he wanted to make it so that it wasn't really like a rat-a-tat-tat sound. He wanted it really muffled so that he didn't cover up the marimba sound, because the marimbas aren't always the loudest instruments. All right, one more. And I promised you I'd have a what kind of moment, because it's the piano. Is it a percussion instrument? Do you hit it? No. Do you shake it? No. Do you scrape it? No. So how is the piano a percussion instrument? It is, but it's not. What if I told you the piano is also a string instrument? What? I know I'm not crazy. All right, the piano is a percussion instrument played using a keyboard. The actual name of the piano is the pianoforte. And I've told some of you guys that before, because it used to be able to play piano quiet and forte loud. It dates back to around 1700. All right, now here's where the piano becomes a percussion instrument. It's played by hitting a key, which you don't really hit it. You push the key, which causes a hammer inside the piano to hit or strike a string. That's where it's percussion instruments. But I just said it hit a string. Oh, wait a minute. It's a string instrument too. Although it can be played like a string instrument, as the strings inside the piano can be strummed, especially if it looks like this one, where that's called a baby grand piano or a grand piano. It's typically considered a percussion instrument because of the hammer inside hitting that string. Oh, that's how it becomes a percussion instrument, because there's that hammer action. Some people consider the piano to be a string instrument. Now, some people consider the piano to actually not be a percussion or a string instrument, and they put it in a whole nother category by itself as a keyboard instrument, because it doesn't always have strings inside of it. The piano in the music room at school doesn't have strings or hammers. It's an electric one. So it wouldn't be really in the percussion family. It'd be in its own category of either a keyboard instrument or an electronic instrument. So piano kind of could go in a couple different categories, but the one that we're going to talk about right now, it could be in the percussion family. It could be in the string family. We'll go with percussion right now. Pianos are used in just about, they use the fancy word of genre, G-E-N-R-E. That's a fancy word for every type of music. They're used in orchestra, jazz, rock bands, pop bands, film music, and more. Now, the video that I have for you guys is a really cool video, because it's kind of an electronic-y with what they do with the notes and video stuff. And it's a classical piece of music, but it's a not boring one, because I wouldn't show you guys boring. So here we go with a demonstration of a piano, which you guys know what it sounds like, but I wanted to show you this anyways, because it's pretty cool. So here we go. I'm going to fast forward to another part because the end is pretty cool too. Let's see. So they kind of have you showing what they're playing. I just thought it looks pretty neat. You go one more. It's kind of like watching fireworks while someone's playing the piano. There we go. That's the one I wanted you guys to see. All right, this one goes a little bit longer, but I just wanted you guys to see that because I thought that looked really cool with like the kind of like the fireworks while they were playing. Anyways, so the piano, percussion instrument, maybe. String instrument, maybe. Maybe it's in a category all of its own, but again, there's a lot of instruments that can be in the percussion family. There's a lot of instruments that are in the percussion family because anything that you can hit, shake, or scrape. So let's come back tomorrow and learn about a couple more. I will see you guys later. Bye.